All right, you modern humans. In this video, we cover Edward Carson, our next speaker, and his connection to Irish home rule. This is Speaking Through the Ages, where we bring back the dead in an attempt to bring out the values, beliefs, and internal struggles of those humans that came before. We give context to and deliver historical speeches that motivated people to kill, riot, make salt, and sign papers. The Great Irish Famine lasted from 1845 to 1849. 5 years later, Edward Carson was born on the 9th of February. He was the second of 6 kids. His father and mother, Edward Henry Carson and Isabella Lambert, had 4 boys and 2 girls. His grandfather moved to Dublin, Ireland from Scotland in 1815. They were a wealthy Protestant family. Carson's mother, Isabella, was born and lived in Castle Ellen. Edward Carson himself spent holidays there. The castle was now owned by his uncle. His father was a prominent architect and civil engineer, but Edward did not follow his footsteps. He was educated at Wesley College and Trinity College in Dublin, where he dove into law and history and became one of the prominent lawyers and politicians of his day. Carson had 3 very public and high-profile cases: Oscar Wilde, Carberry Brothers, and George Archer's She. All were high-profile, but Oscar Wilde's case is one of the wilder ones. So, knowing this is a bit of a sidetrack, I couldn't help but give you a few of the details. Besides, Edward Carson he's just kind of a boring privileged Protestant anyways. In 1895, John Sholto Douglas had a little issue with the popular poet and playwright Oscar Wilde, who Edward Carson coincidentally went to school with. John Sholto Douglas, 9th Marquess of Queensberry, was a Scottish nobleman known for his atheism, ruthless tongue, and indulgence in sports. For those who know a little boxing history, he publicly endorsed the Queensberry rules for boxing, which differed from the London boxing rules. John Sholto Douglas allowed them to use his name for marketing purposes. After a little research, I'm going to sum up his personality by calling him the toxic asshole of his day. Okay, but back to our main tangent. The 9th Marquess of Queensberry had an issue with Oscar Wilde. You see, Oscar was sleeping with his son, Lord Alfred Douglas. John Sholto Douglas publicly left his calling card at Wilde's club, accusing Wilde of engaging in sodomy. I actually didn't know what the point of a calling card would be in the era before phones, so I looked it up. They were widely popular in the late 19th and early 20th century among the upper class of Europe. They started as a simple inscription that described how to announce someone's arrival to a party or social gathering. And they kind of grew into a sort of thank you and genteel way of showing respect for a host or public venue. There were a whole host of social venues and systems behind these cards, but the fact that John Sholto Douglas publicly spread his calling card reading, quote, "For Oscar Wilde, posing sodomite," unquote, at Oscar Wilde's own club was a huge spit in the face. Oscar decided to sue the 9th Marquess of Queensberry for libel. So John approached a very prestigious lawyer to defend him, Edward Carson. At first, our boy Carson refused to defend him, but after learning the Lord Queensberry's allegations were true, he took up the case and successfully defended John Sholto Douglas, 9th Marquess of Queensberry, while socially ruining Oscar Wilde. However, even before his high-profile cases, Edward Carson was on the up and up, becoming both the Solicitor General for Ireland in 1892 and a Member of Parliament from the University of Dublin. He went on to serve in various cabinet positions throughout his political career. He became more and more popular for his campaign against Irish home rule, his belief in maintaining the Union, and fighting for the people of Ulster. While the passage of the Parliament Act of 1911, which took the House of Lords veto power away, the Unionists lost the safety net, keeping the Home Rule Bill from passing. Ironically, Edward Carson disliked most of the Ulster people's characteristics, but nevertheless, he's standing in front of 50,000 people. He gave a speech in 1911, urging his party to take on the governance of Ulster. Then on Sunday, September 28, 1912, he was the first of 447,000 to sign the Ulster Covenant to resist home rule with all means necessary. After which, in 1913, they assembled, armed, and trained the Ulster Volunteer Force, a private army of 80,000 men to stand against Home Rule. Then, at the state opening of Parliament in February 1914, Carson stirred the pot even more, and as tradition requires, the monarch and Parliament all gather at the Palace of Westminster, where the speech from the throne is given and numerous issues are debated. One issue to be debated on this day, the government of Ireland. And even the Prime Minister congratulated Edward Carson for winning the day. To catch the powerful words of Edward Carson, see you next time. Thanks for exploring the ages with us. In this video, we covered Edward Carson and his rise to fame defending the Union of the United Kingdom. Throughout Speaking Through the Ages, we'll encounter different people, cultures, and histories, and we'll give you more details and reveal little by little as each speech requires. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember, if you like this video, be sure to light up that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And leave comments to correct any errors, exaggerations, or perfunctory explanation this novice history fan gets wrong. See you next time, where the dead teach.